सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अर्यातीतरसीवर धगवारिस गुगैल அறிவாய் ரமி பரமாத்துமன் அருணாச்சலரமணன் பரிவாழ்வுளம் முருகானல பரனார்ந்திடு குகையார்ந்து அறிவாம் விழித்திரவாய் நிசம் அறிவாய் அது வெளியாம் அண்ணாமலையாய் அடியேனை ஆண்ட அன்றே ஆவியுடல் கொண்டாய் எனக்கோர் குறையுண்டோ குறையும் குணமும் நீ அல்லால் என்னேனிவற்றை என் உயிரே எண்ணம் எதுவோ அது செய்வாய் கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே கண்ணே உந்தன் கழலினையில் காதற் பெருக்கே தருவாயே. ஓம் அதிமதுரசாபஹஸ்தாம் அபரிமிதாம் மோதபான சௌபாக்யாம் அருணாம் அதிசய கருணாம் அபிநவகுலசுந்தரீம் வந்தே. ஓம் ஐம் ஹ்ரீம் ஸ்ரீம். We shall chant Gita Dhyana Shloka. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayiniim Ambatvamanusandhadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshiniim. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayatapatra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradhipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrutaduhe namaha. Sarvopanishadho gavo dhogdha gopalanandanaha Partho vatsasudhir bhokta Dugdham Gitamrutam mahat. Vasudhe vasutam devam Kamsa Chanooramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. So, in order to know the Kshetrajna or the real knower or the self, we have to become qualified first. For that, we have to develop certain qualities within ourselves. We have to practice certain, certain Urukkaneri, meaning what? Certain values only we have to practice, and that is what given us Jnanam here. Why? Because that leads to the Jnanam. So that is called as Jnanam. So we will chant from the verse number, what is that? 7. Is it 7? Yes. In the Shankara Bhashya it is 7. In Holy Gita it must be 8, I suppose. Amanitvamadambhitvam ahimsa kshantirajhavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam vinigraha indriyarteshu vairagyam anahankarameva cha janma mrityu jara vyadihi dukkha doshanudarshanam asakthirana bishwangaha putradhara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopapatishu maicha yogena bhaktiravyavicharini viviktadesha sevitvam aratirjana samsadi. So the seeker has to develop this quality of amanitvam, meaning not to take pride in his own abilities or in his own expressions. He should be humble. So he should practice humility, amanitvam. Adhambitvam, meaning he should not show off, meaning he should not blow his own trumpet. So he should be very modest. Amanitvam, adhambitvam. Ahimsa, he should not harm anybody. Ahimsa. Kshanti, he should readily forgive. Not even forgive. He should not react whoever says whatever. Kshantihi. Arjavam, he should be straightforward. Avakratvam, Shankara says he should not be crooked. He should be straightforward. Acharya upasanam, and we should serve the teacher in whatever possible ways. Shaucham, the purity, outside and inside. Stairyam, to follow the path with dhrada sankalpa, with a firm attitude we have to follow. Stairyam. Atma vinigraha, and we have to control the body and the senses, because they naturally flow into the path of sense objects only. But we have to turn them towards the Atma Marga, towards the path of self-rediscovery. And then Indriyarteshu Vairagyam. So developing dispassion towards the worldly objects. Anahankarameva, not to have this sense of I always. Ahankara. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Always trying to see the flaws in janma mrityu jara vyadi, because it is just dukkha only. So a person who is intelligent will always understand that this samsara is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. But those who are emotionally carried away, they think, what is wrong in this? Everything is fine and we are happy here. Meaning we are very insensitive even to our sufferings. And we say it is all part of the life. Yes, part of the life only. But why should we suffer? When we are of the nature of bliss, why should we suffer? If we can understand, if we have the clear vision, we need not suffer here. Because our nature is one of the bliss. So therefore, always trying to see dukkha doshanudarshanam. See, you understand, these seekers are always advised to see the negative aspect or the other side of the story, pratipaksha bhavanam, or the dukkha dosha in all these things. That is why sometimes they become little different, not like ordinary people. Sometimes they become too much of finding fault with everything, and they become sometimes little bitter also. But we should avoid becoming bitter. See, on the other hand, if you see, everything is Lord's expression. And there is only Ananda. There is nothing to become bitter or cynical or nothing to feel negative about anything. But if you are intelligent, you see the other side of the story. Is that not so? That is what he is saying. Dukkha doshanudarshanam. Asaktihi, non-attachment, we have to practice. Anabhishwangaha putradara grihadishu. Not to identify with the son, with the wife, with the family, with the house, etc. You know what? It is said, everything is the Lord. Meaning, in true love means total identification with the beloved. Total identification, it is said. But here it is said, you should not identify. You know what? The problem is, if you want to identify with everybody, the whole world. That is very hard. Because certain people we cannot stand. And we have our own likes and dislikes. And, we are very partial always. Or, you give up all sorts of identity, anything, including your body. Either you reject everything or accept everything as your own. But in between, you know what? We accept few things as our own, identify, and all the other things we just are indifferent. This creates samsara. Please understand. Because samaha, the Brahman is same everywhere. Either you don't identify with anything, so you are Brahman only. And you have the natural vision of the oneness. Or you take everything to be yourself. This partiality, that taking few things to be yourself and the other thing not to be yourself, this creates samsara. This creates attachment. This creates all the other things associated with attachment. And then we only in this samsara only. So therefore, what are the things we get very easily attached? One first thing is putra, our own child. That's why it is said in the first place, putra. See, this is very hard, to conquer this kind of attachment to the son or to the daughter. Very hard. You know why? Because association. From childhood onwards, we have been carrying the child and then seeing the child grow, enjoying, blah, blah. And our idea is, myself has become like this, like some sort of ideas we have. It's all not right, actually. It's a different jiva taking this form to exhaust its own vasanas. But because of the little bit of resemblance, that is because of genes and other things, we think myself has come like this. And we try to impose our own value, our own ideas into that child. No. So this is very hard. Putra. And Dara means my life partner. Everything we do together. So, meaning what? Again and again associating, it becomes very hard. Because emotional support, all those stuff, and dependence, all those stuff. So it's very hard. Dhara, griha. Griha is a place of comfort. So this is very difficult to give up. And it is not to give up, but to grow out of that kind of attachment towards putra dhara grihadishu. And nityam cha samachittatvam. So whatever happens, ishta, anishta upapatishu. Whatever desirable or not desirable, when it comes to you, samachittatvam. So to be the same. See, we have to watch ourselves, See, it is not just enough studying or understanding. We have to watch how we react when something is unfavorable coming to us or favorable coming to us. Are we able to maintain our poise? That is the question. And most of the time it is not possible. We get disturbed and agitated and we react violently. So therefore, nityam cha samachittatvam ishta nishtopapattishu. See, most of the time, even before it comes, we are so scared and so restless and agitated. But when it comes, if you face it, it is not that bad actually, That is a secret. If it comes to you, even though not desirable thing, if you face it, it is not that difficult. But the fear that something is going to happen, that is really killing. See, more than the disease, the fear of the disease kills. That we have seen during COVID times. So many people died because of fear of isolation, fear of death, So therefore, we have to be equipoised. And then 10th verse, that we have seen yesterday, once again we will read it today. Mayi cha ananya yogena bhakti ravyabhicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsadhi mayi cha ananya yogena bhakti ravyabhicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsadhi. Mayi means cha Ishvare, in the Lord. That's what Krishna says, in me. He says, in me. Ananya yogena apratak samadhina na anyaha bhagavataha vasudevat paraha asti ataha sayeva no gatihi iti evam nishchita avyabhicharini buddhihi ananya yogaha tena vajanam bhaktihi. See how beautiful. Ananya yogena means what? Sri Krishna is not different from me. He is my own self. And there is nothing other than Sri Krishna or nothing other than the self. So without getting distracted into anything else, always devoted to that one and that only one. This is Ananya Yogena. And he says, Ataha sayeva no gatihi, because he alone is my real gati. He is my goal and he is my destination to reach. So therefore, I am dedicated only to him. This is Ananya Yogena. And avyabhicharini. Vyabhicharina, na vyabhicharana shila avyabhicharini. Sacha jnanam, that is real jnanam. Avyabhicharini means what? Not to waver. As Sri Ramakrishna says, if you dig in one place, you get water. If you go on digging in so many places, you may not. Vyabhichara means what? You are not sure. And always you are oscillating. Shall we follow this path or that path, this guru or that guru? Like that, the mind is always confused and wavering. See, even to get a nischala bhakti, it's very rare. Achanchala bhakti. See, that is why that priest also, when he was doing the sankalpa that day, the other day, he was saying, for the devotees again, achanchala bhakti, achanchala bhakti. Meaning what? Very firm devotion to the Lord. So a very, very strong term used, avyabhicharini. So we have to stick to our own Ishtadevata or to the self. And then we have to put all our best efforts to reach the self. So that is jnanam. See, jnana means what? That is the real way to the self. And then vivikta desha sevitvam. viviktaha svabhavataha samskarena va asuchadibihi sarpa vyagradibihi cha rahitaha aranya nadi pulina deva grihadibihi vivikta deshaha vivikto deshaha means where nobody visits. Ekanta. Ekanta means a solitary place. Here it is said like vana, aranya, like the forest, or like the banks of a river, or like an old temple where nobody visits, like very less people visit. Not popular temples, You should not go and sit in Arunachala temple. No, you cannot sit anywhere also. You have to walk in the queue and then come out of the queue. I don't know. So, we have to choose the solitary place. See, when I was in Mauna, I sometimes used to go to the temple. Once what happened, there was so much of crowd. And then I was trying to have darshan, but everybody was, sort of hiding or sort of obstructing my view. And the priest, they go in, go out, go in, go out. And I was struggling. There was an old Amma. She told me, Swami, why do you want to come to the temple? Why can't you sit somewhere and see him inside? He was telling me, she was telling me. I got shocked. Oh my God. Amba only coming and telling very old Amma, very graceful, very nice Amma, telling, why do you want to come to temple? She was asking. Why don't you sit somewhere and see him inside? What a thing. That's the message actually. Because Bhagavan, once after reaching there, he never went inside, it seems. Can you imagine this? First time he went and embraced, it seems. That's what they say dramatically. We don't know whether what he did. And after that, he never. It is not that you should not go to temple. It means if you can see him in your heart, nothing like that. See, going to temple helps really. That kind of different vibrations, sattvic vibrations there. And also to pray to the Lord and to worship the Lord is always auspicious. But if you can see him in your heart, there is nothing like that. So a seeker, that is why should not, go on hopping, temple hopping. And we want to tick everything. I have seen this, I have seen that, I have seen this, I have done that, done that. And all sorts of prayachittam. Here I have gone and done this, done that. Why? As a seeker, what is the need? Everywhere the same Lord is there. So even if you go for a pilgrimage, take 1 or 2 temples and be satisfied. Or if you want to visit temples, have 1 temple in the morning, 1 temple in the evening. People have 5 temples in the morning and 8 temples in the evening. And run like a mad, headless chicken they run. Mad people, I don't know why they are running like that. And they come from very Advaita Parampara also. And they know everything is one. But you know what? That is special. This is special. All speciality is in your mind only. That is special. This is special. And you get that. If you go there, you get that. You get this. What is this? Vivikta sevitvam. Just relax. When you come to Tiruvannamalai, you should just relax. Like a monkey, shall I climb up or go here, go there? Shall I travel here, travel there? Then people ask me, Swamiji, top of the hill can we go? I always ask them, are you a monkey? I ask them. Why do you want to climb top of the hill? Why can't you be here, peaceful? No, you are adventurous. Then why do you come to Tiruvannamalai? Go somewhere else. If you come here, the hill is everything. Just sit quietly and do vichara. Or just behold, look at him and smaranat Arunachalam. Then you are liberated. How simple it is. No. I want to visit the golden temple there. I will go there. And I want to visit Tirupati here only. And this Tirupati, I don't know, my God, why people go at all. So much of crowd, so much of tallu mullu, and not even a second you can. Excitement. The same Tirupati Balaji is there in so many other temples. Not much people go there. In US, if I go there, the same Tirupati, Venkatachalamurti, nobody is there. Pavamar Parvar. Like our Shivan only. So you know what? When there is nobody, you are not excited to see the Bhagavan also. Okay, finished. So next what? Only when everybody is there, something rare. So I want to also grab. I want to also grab something. That is the idea. See, I am not against anything. Please understand. Tirupati Balaji is wonderful. See, he is a great Lord, the Lord of the universe. It is wonderful to pray to him. I am not against anything. Please understand. But these all hyped up, everything hyped up in this world. Oh, who, what is this hype? Why are you hyping it up so much? Only there you get all these things. What do you want actually in this life? You don't want anything. Because you are already the full, Purnam. But we don't realize, see, how many hours we drill this into us. The Swabhava comes out. No. So you don't know, Swamiji, all these things. Okay. Go, instead of watching some TV or watching something, it is okay to go. But going like mad people, running everywhere. Vivikta Desha Sevitvam. Aratihi Jana Samsadi. Jana Samsadi means here, Shankara says, Aramanam, who is not reveling, Aramanam, Jana Samsati, Jananam, Prakrutanam, Samskara Shunyanam, Avinitanam, Samsata Samavayo, Jana Samsat, meaning one who are not having any humility, one who are not having any samskar. So their company we should not seek. But he says, instead, samskara vatam, vinitanam, samsat, tasya jnana upakarakatvat, ataha prakruta janasamsiti aratihi jnanartatvat jnanam. But we can seek the company of the noble ones and the devotees, the good people. Only those people who are very worldly and who are very arrogant and who don't have any idea about the Lord or anything, those people we should not be with them. Because our mind also will be influenced. You understand? Arati Janasamsa means the person will not seek such company. And Gurudev in his commentary, as usual, he says, Janasamsadi means it's not running away from people, but to be with the people, but not to get influenced. And all those stuff he writes in his commentary. Okay, so these are all the jnanam. Now, moving on, because we have spent a lot of time in this verse. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etad jnanamiti proktam yadaton ajnanam yadatonyatha adhyatma jnana nityartvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etad jnanamiti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. Adhyatma jnana nityatvam. Atmadi vishayam jnanam, adhyatma jnanam. Tasmin nitya bhavo nityatvam. So, Atmadi vishayam. So, regarding the self, that is adhyatma jnanam, the knowledge about the self. So, nityatva means always abiding in that knowledge. So, adhyatma jnana nityatvam. That is jnanam. Why? Because the mind has got tendency to run away and to revel only in this world. So a seeker, if he is intelligent enough, so he has to bring back the mind and try to keep it in the adhyatma, in the atma, the self. Nityatvam, you have to practice it ever. See, it is not hard actually when you know the knack of it or when you have sufficient training. It is not hard. Pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, he alone is revealed. See, this is very true. In every experience, he alone is revealed. When you listen to the chirping of the bird, what else is that? It is the Lord only. Because whatever you see here, everything is the Lord only, because apart from him there is nothing. So therefore, adhyatma jnana, but only thing is, our mind should be tuned so that we are aware, we are appreciating that everything is Him only. And He is as the Self, as the Aham Spuranam, Aham Taya Spurati Hut Swayam. He is there always. So, abiding Adhyatma Jnanam, in that knowledge of the Self, and Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam means Amanitwadinam Jnana Sadhananam Bhavana Paripaka Nimittam Tattva Jnanam Tasya Artaha Mokshaha Samsara Uparamaha Tasya Alochanam. So when you practice this Amanitvam, Adhambitvam, all those things, what is the Prayojanam? Tattva Artha. See, Artha means what is the Prayojanam? Prayojanam means Moksham, the liberation. Samsara Uparamaha, and all the samsara is gone. So, therefore, Tasya Alochanam. So, you have to think, what would I gain really when I practice all this jnanam? So, when I abide in the Self, what is the real prayojanam? Meaning, you see everything as one, and then you are not born again, and you need not be again and again in this samsara. So, to alochanam, to thus think, is called as Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Tattva Jnana means what? Whatever we have studied till this point of time. Tattva Jnana. Artha means that prayojanam. Alochanam. That is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. That is what Shankara says. So constantly we have to think that this alone will help us. You know why? Other things are dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Please understand. Why? Ultimately leads to sorrow only. Why it leads to sorrow? Because janma is dukkha, mrityu is dukkha, jara, the old age is dukkha, vyadi is dukkha. And all the abhimana, everything is dukkha. Abhimana means what? When you have abhimana towards somebody, something, it is dukkha only. So all this dukkha only. So, and also ashashvatam, nothing remains. The sad part of this world is nothing remains. And that is the most beautiful part of the world also. Why? Otherwise you will be caught. Thank God nothing remains. So that you are dedicated to yourself, which is Shashvatam. See, when we think this is going to remain forever, Yamandupedu means we will lose. Nothing remains, whatever. The death takes away everything. Is it not so? Whatever we have gained, everything is taken away. So therefore, instead of going after something perishing, and this is Mayamayam, please understand. In this world there are so many things which can really manasa maikakuriya vishayangal irukku. Meaning manasa maikakuriya means what? Which can delude you, your mind. Like, see, don't mistake me, like very small babies. They are very sweet. There is nothing wrong. When they smile, it is like seeing God only. There is nothing wrong. But when you are so attached and when you go on, behind that kind of relationships, you lose all your time and your energy, and 15 years lost. Before your grandchildren attain 15, you have lost your prime of your middle age. See? This is Maya. Like that, everything is Maya. Even love is Maya. What, Swamiji? Yes. மனசை மயக்கிறது எல்லாமே மாயை தான். எது மனசை மயக்கலையோ அதுதான் சாஸ்வதம். எது நல்லது அதுதான். Everything else is Maya only. Because we lose ourselves into it. And we get distracted. Swamiji, this is very hard. Yes, this is hard only. So therefore, Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam, to understand that this Tattva Jnana, this knowledge about the self, that is the real Prayojanam, because that liberates. And there you attain peace. But once when you gain this knowledge, then everything is auspicious. And nobody restricts in any way, because the ego is not there. The ego self is not there. And you cannot do anything wrong. When the ego self is not there, you cannot do anything wrong. Nothing is inauspicious. When the ego self is there, whatever the ego self does is all wrong. Meaning what? Inauspicious. So it is said, Nanum poi en anbum poi. And great Mahatma has said, Nanum poi, I am false. And en anbum poi, even my love is false. Why? Whenever it comes out of the ego cells, that kind of love is only attachment. And it is false. So when you say everything is attachment, what can we do in this world? We have to be very, very introspective. Very, very jagrada in this world. Otherwise we get caught and we get swayed away. Or we have to hold on to the feet of the Lord and pray continuously. Oh Lord, please take care. Please give me sadbuddhi. You know what we should pray to the Lord? Please protect me from myself, not from others. Please protect me from myself and protect everybody from me. The ego self, that is all inauspicious. So, Tattva Jnanartha Darshan. Etad Jnanamiti Proktam. These values, what we are practicing to gain knowledge, is called as the knowledge. Etad Jnanamiti Proktam. Ajnanam yatada yad ataha anyata. Whatever is other than these things, they are called as ajnana. See? Ignorance. Ataha anyata yad. Whatever is there, which is contrary to all these things, like dhamba, manitvam, dhambitvam, himsa, see? This crookedness, all the other things, it's called as ajnanam. So, ajnana means what? Though that will take you away from the self. Jnana means all these values will take you towards the self. So, therefore it is called as jnanam. See, now, in the second chapter, he has given so many pointers. Asthita prajna lakshanam. Right? And in the 12th chapter, see how many things he has said. About advesha sarvabhutana maitra karunayevacha. And here, in this 13th chapter, like that, wherever you go, he is going to give you so much. He is giving. At least something when we take it up and practice or, try to live all these things. Uruputtu mela poiduvom. Now, moving on. Now, what is this jnayam? That which has to be known. Jnayam, na? Jnanam, jnayam. That he asked about the jnayam also. In the first question, if you remember, Arjuna asks, what is jnayam? What is to be known actually? Worthy of knowing. Here, Bhagavan is going to start the another, development of thought. So here he says, jnayam yattat pravakshyami yajñātvāmrutamashnuté anādhimat param brahma nasattannasaduchyate jnayam yattat pravakshyami yajñātvā amrutamashnuté anādimat param brahma nasattannasaduchyate. Jnayam yat tat pravakshyami. Whatever is worthy of knowing or the ultimate, that I am going to reveal it to you now. Pravakshyami. I am going to tell you now. And then he praises that absolute. Why? In order to gain the attention of the student, now he says, Yajñātvā amrutam. By knowing which one attains to immortality, amrutam ashnute. Amruta means what? He will not die anymore. Huh? Yes. Only when you think you are the body mind, you will die. When you identify with the self, which is imperishable, there is no idea of death. Because anyway, body has to go back to its Panchamahabhuta. And the mind, if it is full of vasana, has to take another body. If there are no vasanas, no desire, then you are one with the self, then where is the question of death? In fact, there is no death. When you know yourself, there is no death. Why? The self will never die. Aksharam Brahma, which will not decay and die. So therefore, Yajñātva amrutam ashnute, you will reach that immortal state. That I am going to tell you. So listen carefully. That is the idea. By knowing which, you will be free from all this samsara. This janana marana dukkha. Janana marana dukkha cheda daksham namami. Dakshinam sutram. So, anadimat. Anadimat means what? Here Shankaracharya says, anadimat means adihi asya asti iti adimat. Na adimat, anadimat. So, which has got no beginning. Anadi, anadimat. See, it should not be, Shankaracharya very clearly says, some other philosophers, some other schools of thought, they split it as anadi and mat param. He says no. And he gives on reasons. See, big sort of commentary he has written. It should not be split like that. Anadimat param brahma. So anadimat means it is beginningless. We do not know. Meaning what? There was no time where it was not, and then it has come into existence. No. That is why anadimat. Or you cannot denote it through time, because the time is only the conception of the mind, and which is nothing but the consciousness. So therefore, anadimat, param, the supreme, niradishayam, Brahma, which will not perish, Brihatvat Brahma, and na sat, na asat uchate. It cannot be called as sat or asat. What is this? Uladunu solla mudiyadu, iladunu solla mudiyadu. You cannot say it is existent or non-existent. Why? See, I was contemplating on this. You know, I got some idea. When I went into our Shankara and Gurudev, same thing. I was so, thrilled. Why it cannot be called as Sat, existence? Because it is not an object. It is not an object to understand or to know it. So it cannot be called as Sat. See, in our day-to-day experience, what we call as existent, this bookmark is existing. Because we are able to see it. We know it. Is it not so? This book is there. It is existing. But like that, you cannot know the self, because it is the very subject which is illumining all. So, from the relative standpoint, you cannot say it is existing, because it is not available for the senses and the mind. Then shall we call it as non-existent? You cannot call it as non-existent, because it is a substratum of all, and it expresses through the world. How? It expresses through the senses. As the consciousness, it expresses through the senses, and expresses through as the world, as everything, as the living beings. So it cannot be said as non-existent also. So it is beyond Sat and Asat, these ideas of the intellect. And Gurudev says, all these are the evaluation of the intellect, ideas of the intellect. Something is there or is not. Both are evaluations of the intellect, and the pure consciousness is that which illumines the intellect, which illumines the idea of existence also, the idea of non-existence also. Therefore, it is beyond both. So it cannot be called as existence also, non-existence also. How clear it is. So that Jneyam, that thing, the absolute, is Param Brahma. It is the supreme truth. Brahma, all pervading, which is the substratum of all, and which cannot be defined as Sat or Asat. So in our normal way of defining things, we cannot define Brahman. That is what we have to understand. It is beyond. So if it is beyond, if it cannot be understood, then how to know that it is there? How to know? Maybe you are just hallucinating something. Like the rabbit's horn. முயல் கொம்பு தான் ரொம்ப இதாக சொல்லுவாங்க. Like that, it is not there, you are imagining, or you are சும்மா talking. No, it is there. How? You know what? Everything is that only. என்னடா இது? See, this is the thing. If you say, all the ornaments are gold only. What is gold? What is gold? What is gold? Actually, if you want to understand gold, if you are deluded by the shapes and forms of the ornaments, you can never understand what is gold. So it is said, it is beyond all this shape, the name and form. Oh, it is beyond, then what it is? In fact, whatever you are seeing is gold only. What is this? Something like that. The language of contradiction. Through the language of contradiction only the truth is revealed. Because the logic and reasoning, the buddhi wants to put everything into a compartment, sort it out and analyze and understand. By that way, you cannot understand. Because it is beyond. It is the very consciousness which is illumining the intellect. So when contradictory ideas are thrown, the intellect is stunned. Then it is stunned. In that moment, when you drop the intellect, that is revealed. So that is why all through our scriptures, in Upanishads, the language of contradiction is used. And here it is going to liberally use the language of contradiction. Here see. Sarvata panipadam tat sarvatokshishiro mukam sarvata shruti malloke सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वतः पानिपादं तद् सर्वतोक्षिशिरो मुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. So it cannot be known, it cannot be known, it is said. It cannot be known means what? Then it is not there or what? What are you talking? Sarvata panipadam tat. Tat means that. Sarvata panipadam. Everywhere the hands and legs of the Paramatma. Sarvataha. Everywhere hands and legs. Panipadam tat. Sarvataha akshishiro mukam. Everywhere its eyes. Akshihi means eyes, Shiraha its head, Mukam means its mouth. Sarvataha Shrutihi, everywhere its ears. Meaning what? Through all the eyes, Paramatma is only seeing. All the ears, Paramatma only is hearing. Through all the hands and legs, Paramatma only is functioning. Meaning what? Without consciousness, eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear. And without consciousness, the grace, the touch of the consciousness, nothing is enlivened. Nothing can act of its own. So, see, this is called as Tadastha Lakshanam. Tadastha Lakshanam means with respect to the world, it is described. By itself, it is beyond only. But with respect to the world, how can you see it? Sarvata panipadam. Everywhere, its hands and legs. Meaning what? Wherever anybody is doing anything, he alone is accomplishing because he alone is accomplishing what? Not directly. That is why Shankara in his commentary is taking all pains to say that it is not directly. Because of his presence only, everything is enlivened and taking energy and dynamism from him, everything is happening. Therefore, through all hands and legs, he is only expressing, he is only accomplishing everything. either good or bad. Through all the eyes he is only seeing. Through all the ears he is only listening. Through all the mouth he is only eating. See, if you can think this way, you will not run and grab things, So somebody gives you a piece of a mango, let us say. Mango is very tasty, but we want 2, 3 more. But if you can see through every mouth, I alone am eating. See, the mothers, they have got this kind of idea, They have few children. They give, and little bit they take. And they are very satisfied because they know all these children are my own. Through all of them, I am only eating. Something like that, some idea like that. The grandparents, very graceful. Why? That is love and that is oneness. When you know through all the eyes you are only seeing, all the ears you are only hearing, all the mouth you are only eating. How beautiful. Through all the hands and legs you are only accomplishing. See, I always feel this way, When people want to do arti, whoever does arti, it is as if I am only doing. Why? Because if I say only if I do arti I am doing, then I am doership comes. I am the doer, enjoyer. Through all the hands and legs, I am only doing. Meaning what? It's only the one self which is expressing through all the hands and legs. So it is not that I should do everything. It's fine. It's not I should experience everything. Through all the senses, the Paramatma is only experiencing. The sense what? It is not experiencing directly. This is what we should understand. Without its illumination, no experience is possible. This is what should be understood. See, Shankara takes so much of... See, I am not reading out the whole of this thing because it's so exhaustive. So, but this idea is so beautiful. Sarvatapani padam tat. So, everywhere his hands and legs. Like we saw the cosmic form also, na? Everywhere is mouth, everywhere is mukha, everywhere is head, his eyes, everywhere is ears. And loke sarvam avritya tishtati. He alone pervades everything. He alone pervades everything. Like the butter pervading the milk. Meaning, you cannot take away him from this world, because when you take away, nothing exists. கடவுளாலும் செய்ய முடியாத காரியம் ஒன்று உண்டு, யோகர் சுவாமி said. அவர் நினைத்தாலும் உன்னை விட்டு அகல முடியாது, உன்னை விட்டு பிரிய முடியாது. Even God cannot accomplish a thing. What is that? He cannot leave you and go. Why? Because he is the very self. How can he go away from you? He cannot go away from you because he is your own self. How can the self leave you? Anybody else can leave you, but not Paramatma, because he is my own self. Thank God, at least Paramatma is there for me. Everybody is left. There are crybabies in this world, They are called as crybabies, always crying for something or other. Always, dukhi, always crying. Because they sympathize with their ego self. Ego self has to be hammered, it has to be destroyed. Nobody should sympathize with the ego self. Whenever we cry, we are only sympathizing with the ego self. Is that not so? That we are unable to understand that this is not me. So therefore, sarvam avritya tishtati. He alone pervades everything. Tishtati means he remains pervading everything. So therefore, etavanasya mahima. When a bird is flying in the sky, who is flying? When there is a breeze, what is this breeze? When the sun is shining, what is this sun? When the waves are, again and again rising and then going back, what are these waves? Sarvata pani padam tat. Sarvatokshi shiromukam. Everything is one. How can you say everything is different? So that is the idea. So through all the legs and hands, he is only functioning. To So all the eyes he is only seeing. Why? Kshetrajna is only one. Is that not so? Through all the Kshetrajna is only one, we saw, na? The knower is only one. So through all the eyes he is only seeing. But when you reach him, you find there is nothing else apart from him. But with respect to the world, without him nothing functions, nothing is. Therefore, he alone is functioning through all. This is what we have to understand. So, Swarupa Lakshana means what? With respect to himself, what he is. With respect to himself, you can attribute anything to him because there is nothing other than him. But with respect to the world, from the Ajnana standpoint only, with respect to the world, how can you see him? He alone is expressing through all. Apart from there is nothing. He is immanent and transcendental. He is in and through everything and transcendental also. Why it is that in and through? Because apart from him there is nothing. But why he says transcendental? We get caught in the names and forms. That is why he says transcendental. So like that, if you can have a vision, so how beautiful. Sarvata panipadam tat, sarvadokshi shiromukam, sarvata shruti malloke, sarvamavritya tishtati. See, in the middle class families, in the very, very poor families, during Deepavali time and all, they may not have much money to buy clothes for everyone. Always the father or the mother sacrifices. They take clothes, new clothes for the children, if there are 2, 3, let us say, and for others also, elders also. And they quietly, they just give it this thing, they skip it. Why? Because the father, when he looks at his son having the new dress and he's enjoying, he's so glad. He's so happy. Why? He's seeing himself in him. So, what is there? Only if I wear, only I am wearing, or what? Even if he wears, I am only wearing. See? That is why when the son gets a honor, recognized, the fathers, the grandparents, they feel very happy. Why? It is me. This idea if we can have towards everything. Imagine. So whoever is enjoying, I am along with them. Whoever is suffering, I am along with them. So such a Mahatma is so dear to me, he is great. He said, we studied somewhere in Gita only. So this is the idea. Everywhere he is, and he pervades everything, and he remains like that. Sarvendriya guna bhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, asaktam sarva bhruchaiva, nirgunam guna bhoktrucha, sarvendriya guna bhasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, asaktam sarva bhruchaiva, nirgunam guna bhoktrucha. Sarva indriya guna abhasam. He alone is shining through all the indriyas, all the sense organs, indriyas. Because it is said in Kenopanishad also, he is the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, ear of the ear. Without the consciousness peeping through the eyes, nobody can see. This is what Shankaracharya beautifully explains in his commentary also. He says, Sarvendriya gunabhasam, sarvani cha tani indriyani, kshotradini, buddhindriya karmendriyakyani, antakarne cha, buddhi manase, nyayo upaditvasya, tulyatva, sarvendriya grahanena grihyante. Only because of him expressing as the Chidabhasa in the buddhi, we are able to see everything through the eyes, through the mind, we are able to feel. Therefore, he alone is shining through all the indriyas. Guna abhasam. Abhasam is he is shining, expressing through all the sense organs. But of himself, sarva indriya vivarjidam. He has no senses. So if you see who he is actually, he has no senses, no mind, no buddhi. Language of contradiction, see. Sarva indriya gunabhasam. He alone is shining through all the senses. At the same time, he has got no senses. Oh, he is senseless. Yes. Not only he is senseless, buddhi kettavan, buddhi illadavan, buddhi kettavan, buddhi illadavan. He has no buddhi. He has no manas. Heartless fellow. He is heartless, mindless. So, when you see who he is actually, from his own self standpoint, there are no senses, no body, no avayava, no body, no limbs, no senses, no mind, no buddhi. But without him, the senses cannot function, the buddhi cannot function. Therefore, he alone is functioning through the senses and the mind. But of himself, there is no sense, there are no senses, no mind. How beautiful. Asaktam. Totally he is detached. He has nothing to do with anything. Even though it is said that way, Sarva Bhrit, he supports everything. See? How beautiful. He alone supports everything means what? Without him, there is nothing. But Asaktam, but he is not involved in anything. He is not tainted by anything. Like the cotton thread in the dhoti. The cotton thread alone supports the dhoti. Why? If you remove the cotton thread, there is nothing called a dhoti. Am I right? So the cotton thread alone supports the whole dhoti. Why? Because removing it, there is nothing called as dhoti. So similarly, consciousness alone is supporting the whole world. Why? If there is no consciousness, there is no world. At the same time, the consciousness is asanga. It is not tainted by anything. It is akarta abhokta. So therefore, it is not involved in anything. It is not tainted by anything. Therefore, it is asaktaha. How beautiful. Like space. It supports everything. But it is not conditioned by anything. So a Jnani Purush is one who supports everything, but is not attached to anything. Even the Jnanam, the true self is also that way. It supports everything, but is not tainted by anything. Therefore it is said, Asaktam, Sarva Bhurchaiva, Nirgunam Guna Bhoktruja. Guna Bhoktruja means he alone enjoys everything. Guna Bhoktru. Different guna means what? See, inipu, pulipu, idella gunam, gunangal. The sweetness, the bitterness, everything is called as guna only. He alone enjoys everything through the tongue or through the eyes, through the ears. But if you see who he is beyond all gunas. Nirgunam, he has no guna. Of himself he has no guna, but as if he enjoys all without guna. But he enjoys all the gunas. Meaning what? He enjoys means what? Without the touch of the consciousness, you cannot enjoy anything. Actually speaking, who enjoys is the jiva. But why it is attributed to the self? Because without the self's grace, self's touch, nothing is illumined, nothing is enlivened. So the tongue cannot taste anything, the nose cannot smell anything without him. Therefore, he is ultimately it's attributed to him, all the enjoyment. But actually speaking, he is beyond all enjoyment. He is not enjoying anything. But without him, there are no enjoyments. Therefore, he is the enjoyer of all. You understand the idea? See, it is very hard actually. See, these Mahatmas are trying to accomplish something impossible. This is a relationless relationship. For example, how will you reconcile with the post and the ghost? Why you cannot reconcile? Because actually there is no ghost, there is only post. But this fellow is not accepting it. He is seeing only the ghost, not the post. What he can do now? What the Mahatma can do? Array, there is only post, there is no ghost. No, 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 I am seeing the ghost. I am so scared. What are you talking? I am seeing the ghost. Okay, you are seeing the ghost, na? The whole ghost is supported only by the post. Oh, then post is ghost? No, but post is beyond ghost. What are you talking? In fact, whatever the ghost dancing is only the post's dance. Then it means post is dancing? No, post is not dancing. Then what are you talking? See, this is the problem. The ghost is only in his imagination. It is not there. But he has to express the post through ghost only. Because he doesn't know anything else apart from the ghost. So he has to express the post only through the ghost. So he has to imagine in such a way that how it can be expressed. When he says only there is post, there is no ghost, he is not able to understand. He is seeing only the ghost. So he says, whatever the dance of the ghost is only the dance of the post. At the same time, don't think post is dancing. Post is beyond all dancing. Whatever the ghost is enjoying, the post is only enjoying. Why? There is only post. In fact, the post is not enjoying anything. But this person cannot understand the reality of the post, and he cannot understand that the ghost is figment of his own imagination. So the Mahatmas are trying to do something impossible. So they have to juggle. These two realities cannot be associated at all, because one is real, one is unreal. One is not. How can you connect both?
But both are intellectual conclusions of my same mind.
See. Now, see, this question also from intellect only. So what I am saying is, don't abstract my thoughts. I am now flowing with a God. Don't abstract me. So we will see it in the question answer session. So therefore, this post and the ghost cannot be reconciled. You cannot express the ghost in terms of post. You cannot express the post in terms of the ghost. But this fellow cannot understand anything except the ghost. So this is what is struggle. So the language of contradiction is used and so beautifully employed, so that we gain, if we contemplate on it, we gain the vision of the post or the truth. And we understand that this ghost or the world is only mithya, unreal. This is what he is trying to explain through these different verses. So Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, he is only expressing through all the senses, but Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, he is not having any senses. Sarvabhrut, he only supports everything, but he is not attached to anything. Nirgunam Guna Bhoktrucha, he is at the same time enjoying all, but beyond all enjoyments, all beyond all gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjatena. He has no special liking, vasanas for anything. See, enjoyment comes only with the vasanas. He has no vasana, he is beyond all, no vasana for him. Everything is one, for him everything is himself. So therefore, he is beyond the gunas, but who is enjoying all the gunas? Gunas means all the objects. Who is enjoying? He only. Why it is said he is enjoying? Because without him there is no enjoyment. Therefore, it is attributed to him. Actually speaking, he is not enjoying anything. Who is enjoying in between? This jiva, who is identified with the body mind, thinking he is a doer, he is an enjoyer. He is only enjoying. But at the same time, the jnayam, the absolute, is attributed, because without him there is no enjoyment. So this is what we have to understand. We will stop here. It's very, very concentrated. See, I am going slow because 13th chapter is very important. See, when you go to the 14th chapter and 16th chapter, 17th chapter, it's okay, it's all important only. This 13th and 15th is very, very important. So we will go slow. And then 18th summarizes all the thoughts. Whatever we have learnt throughout Gita, it summarizes everything, the 18th chapter. So in the second chapter, he revealed whatever he is going to reveal. And then he revealed. And then he summarizes whatever he revealed. This is how a good teacher teaches. First he will tell what he is going to teach, and then he will teach, and then he will summarize whatever he has taught. So this is a technique employed by all our teachers. So 18th chapter is summary of whole of Bhagavad Gita. So 13th, this is the right pace, we will go this way only. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. The next class we will be having in the evening at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:15 for the online students. Okay. See, actually